Hey, 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 what's shaking, little bro? Get off my property now. Oh, hey, come on, Quacko. Is that any way to treat your siblings after so long? Yeah, that went about as well as expected. Hang on, guys. I'll talk to him. Now, hey, why the rush? We only just got here. Because it's been nearly 20 years since you talked to me, and I don't really have time to be dealing with family drama right now. Oh, come on, Quacko. You can't still be holding a grudge. That was over 20 years ago when our show first aired, and you were still a baby. That didn't stop you from inviting Cousin Lacko to Wacko's Wish instead of me. Well, you know we never went through with that. Yet he still got a family barbecue invite.
Hey man, what's going on here?
Looks like Jen's family has come to visit. And I am all for it because I love me some good family drama. Oh, I remember when drama was first invented with that whole Cain and Abel thing. Wonder whatever happened to him. Look, Yakko, even if I wanted to be dealing with rehashing the whole past, which I don't, I'm really busy right now. I am running 3 different shows. So get to the point. What is it that you want? Oh, yeah, your cute little YouTube shows. Yeah, I'm sure that keeps you really busy. Yakko, what do you want?
Do you think you could give us a job?
Wait, what? Yakko?
What? I'm tired of sleeping in motel rooms.
Wait, you're homeless? What happened to your water tower? Yeah, we didn't want to work for Netflix because the possibility of our show's renewal was very low, so you came to me. Look, even if I wanted to do this idea of yours, there are a lot of people who live in my water tower working on the show. So you'd have to get them to agree to let you stay here. And even still, you would be put to work. And you guys are not going to be the main characters. Are you okay with that? Hey. What can we say? We'll do whatever it takes, man. Come on. We're family. All right. But you gotta be the one to convince them.
Are you sure that this is a good idea, Yakko? Quacko does have a bit of a temper.
Don't sweat it, Wacko. After all, just give it a couple weeks, and we'll be running this place. Come on, let's do this. I'm not in the mood for your nonsense right now.
Well, that's a fine howdy-do in the morning. This is Animaniacs Season 2, Episode 2.
The episode begins with the Warners opening up an email from their new CEO boss lady. No offense, but does she even have a name? Honestly, I don't know, and quite frankly, I don't care, because she hasn't been in the series enough for me to actually properly get any type of read on what her character is, outside of her being a massive bitch. The context of the email is saying that they are setting up a suggestion box, and the Warners immediately take to the idea and immediately putting in their suggestions, like not wearing pants, and then sending them pants, so they don't have to wear them.
You know, that is kind of childishly adorable.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Not hilarious, but that's good.
Unfortunately, in order to submit their request, they have to submit their email. But Dot chooses to do that later because she doesn't want to get put in their email. But then the pop-up doesn't go away. No matter how many times they click ignore or do later, it refuses to leave them alone. So they simply take the easy option out. Just don't do the request. And it seems to work. Until the pop-up pops up in real life. So, why didn't you just set up a dummy email, send the email through that, and then delete the dummy email when you're done? Oh yes, because that's gonna provide all kinds of entertaining content. Okay, you got me there. Well, the email pop-up window isn't done with them yet, as it keeps trying to get them to sign up for their email. But they refuse to give it and run away. But it gives chase. They do everything in their power to stop it, including throwing it into a paper shredder, driving over it with a go-kart, but it chases them down Terminator style.
But they do eventually find an immediate solution to the problem. Run it over, and then keep running it over until it stops moving. And with the threat nullified, they decide to bury it.
Does anybody want to say a few words?
Sure. Ahem. Mustard, umbrella, Bobericus.
That was beautiful.
Okay. I like that one. I'm a harsh critic, but I'm not unreasonable, and that was pretty funny. So credit is due, wacko. Yeah, my next few words will be from my shopping list. Well, unfortunately for the Warners, the embodiment of AI isn't done with them yet. And so, with no other options, they decide to sign their actual email address. Keep into account that they could have made a fake email address at any point, but they chose not to. And so, with it being appeased, the digital entity fades away, making the Warners all happy and giddy and gay until a spam email swarm attacks.
Yakko does open an email, which the others try to stop, but it's too late, as the spam email seems to possess him, full exorcist style, and he's able to have pseudo-control over the other spam emails, and demands their attention.
They try multiple options to free him, but nothing seems to work. So they have to do a hard reset of his entire brain in order to get the spam email out. And it works! They get their brother back! Yay! But there's still the spam email threat.
So they go back to a comedical chase, which it actually feels like dire stakes here if it wasn't for the fact that it's a cartoon. And thus, they are forced into a graveyard, where there's an impossible army of spam emails swarming around them, and picks them off one by one, giving them an ironic punishment of being thrown into a wood chipper, run over by a golf cart, and buried alive, the exact same things that they did to the email address to begin with. And thus the episode ends with a PSA warning about giving private information online, for it's a very dangerous place, before making a joke about it.
So I suppose final verdict on this episode is... it was mid. Mid? Really? After all that laughter and praising you were giving it? Well, yeah. I mean, you have one decent episode, but that doesn't really make up for the fact that you gave us a full season of mostly slop. And plus, this isn't exactly Yakko's world here. This is just a decent episode with a nice message in it. It's not exactly groundbreaking praiseworthy. And then we cut to the Pinky and the Brain segment of the show. Except it's not really Pinky and the Brain this time, it's just that CEO lady again.
Someone clearly bitched that they didn't get enough lines last season.
Well, she says that the Pinky and the Brain are, in fact, missing. So instead, she's going to show us a bunch of pilots that the Pinky and the Brain started. And really, that's it. That's this entire episode. The first one we get is a parody of The Honeymooners, starring Pinky and the Brain, which ends with Brain complaining about the setup and the bad story writing, and it cuts away.
Yes, there's not really much to say. It keeps cutting back to the bitch CEO, and then cuts to another parody of another show. Next up is the Brady Bunch.
There's a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reference. And then there's one show who I forget the name of, and the only reason I know its existence is because I saw How It Should Have Ended version with a Villains Pop song.
Not gonna lie, I kinda wanna watch How It Should Have Ended again.
Yeah, whatever happened to them? Are they still doing things? I can definitely tell that Pinky and the Brain are doing their best to make these jokes work, but to me, I've never really been a fan of reference humor for the sake of reference humor. It's not really too much different from the movie like 300 or Disaster Movie or Epic Movie or Scary Movies, or at least what they became. It also doesn't help that every time it cuts back to the CEO lady, I just hate her character more and more. It finally all comes to an end when this weird chubby rat from season 1 re-enters the fray, just for Brain to lose his temper, kick him out and get him swept up by a falcon, and ultimately chew out the audience for not loving him and his performance. So he goes and takes Pinky with him, saying his iconic phrase, "We're going to prepare for tomorrow night in order to take over the world." And apparently that was the premise for what got them their own show in this new lore. Keep in mind, last season they actually gave us Brain's backstory, so this almost retcons it, but I'm not going to hang up on that detail.
And so Brain tells Pinky to prepare for tomorrow night, as they're going to once again try to take over the world.
The Pinky and the Brain, yes.
I have to admit, for Pinky and the Brain, this was a big disappointment.
Yeah, this feels more like an Animaniacs skit, not a Pinky and the Brain skit. I expect Pinky and the Brain to take over the world, not do sitcoms.
Get your act together.
The last 2 minutes is a safety PSA, man, on what would happen if your local maple syrup factory blew up and you have to survive a giant tidal wave of hot maple syrup.
This one is strangely up your alley, Zaza.
As in it's so dumb that you have to be on drugs in order to laugh.
For the most part, I guess it's a funny little skit for an implausible scenario. And yeah, it's wacky, it's loony, it's funny, it's Animaniacs.
Perhaps the writers have finally got off whatever they were smoking and gave it to me, man.
Right. I think I can translate.
They finally remembered how to write this show. And so that was Animaniacs Season 2, Episode 2, and I didn't hate it. It was actually pretty entertaining, for the most part.
The comedy actually slapped, man. I almost fell out of my chair. In fact, I did fall out of my chair.
I'm not about to send my archangels down in a heavenly chorus or anything, but this episode does get a nice little pat on the head and maybe a cookie. The Pinky and the Brain segment was definitely the weakest element in this episode. The skit itself really wasn't even really that funny. And if my 2 little white rats aren't trying to take over the world, then I don't want it.
The Warner trio definitely had some redeeming moments, as they were actually very likable this episode. However, the CEO of Warner's definitely put a damper on my spirits whenever she showed up.
But only time will tell if they're able to keep up this redemption for the rest of the season. So until then, we were the Cartoon Gentlemen. I'm Gent.
I'm Rehash.
I'm Zaza, man.
And I'm God. And we'll see you all. Oh, right. You.
Well, if you are so insistent upon staying, then why not make it a game? Convince each one of the gents of why you should stay, and you can stay.